Hello everyone, welcome back to Sunless Skies. Let's dive back into it. I actually found myself a little reluctant to get back into the game. I went and played other games instead. And I think, for the most part, it's just that I'm kind of scared of Albion still. I feel like after all this time we spent in the Reach, that we know it. There's still unexplored parts of it, but the Reach is home. And Albion is new. Anyway, so we just screwed up and left this place without the proper things. We need bronzewood, 5 bronzewood, and munitions, just 3. And we're going to Parliament, which is to the east of London. And let's go ahead and get another couple fuel and supplies, just to make sure we're going safe. And is there any new things? No new prospects. We can repair, though. But yes, we need to push past this. We need to make this area, Albion, our home, so that we can actually, progress. So we know it's to the east. We know right to the east is Brabazon. And that's maybe that's east-northeast, so maybe it's like in this area. Let's go out to here and go down. Or maybe I'll go down like this and then over. I like that. One worry I have is that I have not yet found a good place to drop my terror. I mean, before we always had Magdalene's, we had the circus. And those would just provide, abilities to, opportunities to trade resources to reduce terror. But, here, we're at a loss. We need to find a good bar or something. Or at least some wonders. I don't know, I miss the forests of the Reach. It's, this is all industrialized and all that, but I don't know. Maybe we just need to get out of the London proper and get into the outskirts. Okay, that's a wall. What did you find? You found something way up there. Not helpful to us. I don't know, I'm still waiting for that really good story, I mean, some of the stories in the Reach were, okay. I thought Port Avon was kind of weak. But, I thought the circus was fun. That's an interesting sound. What is that? Sounds like ships fighting? Oh, got a port down there. I mean, we're trying to go to Parliament. I'm gonna pass it. I want to see what these ships are. We'll get it on the way back. But good to know where there's another port. Where is this ship fighting? Oh. I think I'm going to miss the ship. We'll just keep on heading this way instead. There's a grave marker. Let's get that. No, we can't. It's an assaying thing. But yeah, I would say that Brabazon was not my favorite zone. I feel that maybe it'll grow on me. But launching a workers' revolution for convicts? I don't know. Not sold on the premise. I don't even see what I found there. We already knew that. Another... Maybe we should get assaying. We keep on seeing so many things that we can do that. I mean, we could trade out our butchering thing, because we haven't seen a butchering thing in a while. Maybe there wouldn't be wild animals this close to London. That looks like a ship I should not mess with. Lots of wreckage. So all looks kind of abandoned. There's a Marauder. Okay, so it fires volleys of those. There, that must be Parliament. Yeah, it's right behind Brabazon. I wonder if this goes through right here. Those would be really close ports, though. Is this some sort of like digging? What's a digging? It's like those huge things in what's it? The Nier game, Nier Automata. A crewman explains the concept of democracy to the devil. Laughter ensues. St. Stephen's Gate. The problem with democracy is that most people are bad people. And so you get a bunch of people together, and you end up with more bad things than good things. Cromwell's Gate. This is probably all, like, things that are, you know, iconic to British culture that I know nothing about. The ancient palace drifts through the void, a monument to British democracy and the greatness it believes it brought to the high wilderness. An elderly guard watches with suspicion as you dock, but relaxes at the sight of fellow Londoners. Before we go in, let's go ahead and deal with this, so we can sell our bronze wood and gain a new permit. Sell some fireworks and gain a moment of inspiration. Nice. Those are rare. I think we've only had 3 of those the entire game so far. And you're selling me tea. I'll grab all that. We're up to 3,000. No fuel here, but I can buy crockery. Maybe this is like the main export. Let's buy one more supply. We can use our bat more often. Alright. Palace of Highminster. The Empress shipped the Houses of Parliament brick by brick from Old London to the High Wilderness to help her govern. It didn't take long for her to grow weary of the questioning of her authority and have it severed from London. Parliament now drifts free in this distant corner of the sky. It continues to pass laws, but hardly anyone pays attention. Let's get a port report. While the palace is off limits to most, there are always ministers and civil servants whose busy schedules allows a moment for a free drink. You ask the obvious question, what is the point of Parliament when Her Renewed Majesty never gives her assent to any of its proposed laws? They bristle. Tyrants fall, democracy endures. Okay, we're actually getting to the point where we might be able to find the Verdant fragment. Yeah, nice. The driver sniffs at the air for any hint of loose verdant spores dragged in by passing travelers. I can taste something. A fear, not death, but the loss of something important. The fragment doesn't want to return. It doesn't want to give up what it's become. They close their eyes, focusing. I can taste its design as well. Its host knew of a place called Hostrup Deep, a desolate corner of the sky. It meant to hide there. The deep will be hard to find. When we're close, we'll need to use our scout. So the deep is west-southwest. Okay. A welcoming party. The smiling man wearing the yellow rosette cuts in first. Captain, join our campaign to celebrate Albion and restore old-school patriotism to the land by officially renaming Wednesday as Victoria's Day. We worship Odin in these parts, not Victoria. Praise Her Renewed Majesty for all she has. The smiling woman wearing the green rosette effortlessly cuts in. For killing democracy? For our subjugation? No, Captain. We must make a stand for freedom. We must show the Empress that we will not just sit idle. Join us as we triumphantly rename her precious Victoria Sponge to the People's Cake. I'm gonna vote in support of the Empress. The two scribble down your answer. Thank you, says the man with the yellow rosette, and turns to his opposing number. One for me, a clear majority. Too bad nobody's listening, mutters the woman in the green rosette. The two disappear. So, yellow is queen, green is democracy. We are advancing my parliamentary career. Okay. Explore Trader's Green. The replanted gardens are a pleasant place to enjoy a walk, though the buildings are out of bounds to casual visitors. The Empress's gate is particularly fortified by a heavy chain and a padlock too rusted to ever be unlocked. A few protesters are taking a break to picnic on the lawn, away from the guards. Braver or more foolhardy ones sit on the aisle's edge, swinging their legs over the sky as they eat their sandwiches. It's near them that you spot the fellow in the suit, swaying uncertainly. His footsteps have taken him precariously close to the edge. Nobody seems to have noticed. Run over to help! He sees you coming. Oh dear. Oh dear. He sees you coming. Startled, he steps back, and with a drunken cry is gone over the edge, and soon little but a dot in the swirling clouds of the wilderness. A small army of civil servants soon swarms from the nearest gate, staring over the edge, agreeing what appalling timing and manners the fellow had, and already arguing over whether the most appropriate memorial would be a bronze plaque on a bench or a new ficus somewhere within the parliamentary halls. A tap on your shoulder distracts you. A tall clerk, flanked by two claymen. Excuse us. He glances you up and down. Yes, very suitable. A moment of your time. An election has been called on Perdurance. He sits at a huge mahogany desk in the prestigious Downing corridor. Your conversation doesn't distract him from writing notes in the margins of endless pieces of paperwork. He pauses his scribbling only to sip from a large cup of stone-cold tea, or to scratch his head with the pen's long silver nib. Let's discuss business. Ah, the captain. A moment. Do take a seat. Tea. Oh, yes, I'll call for some tea. The loss of our dear minister for... He hesitates, covertly checking a file. Perdurance, yes, is a tragedy, but we must move on. You seem just the sort I'm looking for. Lucid, breathing. Have you ever considered a career in politics? No, I do not care about history or affiliations. A bum in a chair would suffice. The Department of Albion Affairs would be a suitable starting point. If you're interested, I will set the wheels in motion. Visit the former minister's port. Okay, so we have to go and stand to be a member of parliament for Perdurance? Okay. Observe the people's perpetual protest. A ragtag mob of protesters has set up camp on the lawn. No two want the same thing, but their cacophonous chanting is impressive. Parliament has little power, but at least there's a chance it might listen. That is more than protesters can expect at the throne of ours. The protesters raise their voices with a spirit of camaraderie and a united belief that words can still make the world a better place, with neither anger in their words nor violence in their demands. At 3 on the dot, the huge portcullis opens and the protesters are served tea, scones, and little cucumber sandwiches cut into triangles, a little recognition of the protesters' ongoing service to this most vital part of British democracy. We could protest something? I mean, if I'm going to be a new member of Parliament, I don't think I want to get involved maybe with a cause I might not champion. Let's just ignore the protest. Oh, I reduced my terror, that's nice. The crowd continues raging against whatever it is they disapprove of. You leave them to it and return to the quieter, more civilized greenery of the main lawn. Well, that was definitely the right choice. So the House of Commons, when you have a ministerial appointment, the House of Lords, when you have a key to the House of Lords, and Victoria Tower, when you have the key to it. But I don't have any of these things. Is there any other options? Nope. We are done here. Okay. So, we were told to go somewhere down here. We do have another port that seems like it's actually really close to London. Let's go up this way and see if we find a route through here. Back towards Brabazon. The floating parliament! And quite a bit of XP. Oh, there's a ship up there. Are you friendly? I just see its trail. Haven't seen the ship itself. A cantankerary! Maybe I do need to keep our canning. Okay, it's a Marauder. Bandits right outside of Parliament. So many supplies. Well, then we should throw our bat out all the time. Some of these floating things are like on my plane, some of them are below us. Like we're gonna be running into stuff if we're not careful. Looks like we have an event. The very biggest of bends. Oh, okay. And I go right over it. Tower of Chimes. The biggest of bends. Is there an interactable part? Doesn't seem like it. Way down there. Oh, these bits I can move along, so I'm not worried about crashing into them. Oh, I like this. Yeah, that sounds lovely. That's some great music. What? Oh, okay. It's getting a little distorted. Like, I can't see as well. That was some lovely music. Let me get some more bronze wood. I mean, technically, I suppose in Albion, bronze wood's pretty rare. Look at this. It's like getting all weird looking. It's a horror. Yeah. Interact. You tether your engine to a circle of menhirs, standing on a wide stone ledge. The tallest towers over you, the height of 3 men. You can brush the top of the smallest with your fingers. The rocks are rough, weathered. Far beneath the plain, other vast stone plates turn remorselessly. Here, the megalithic monument is still. But the place feels a kilter. You stumble as if dizzy. So we can whisper and get a, coin flip. We can step inside and give them an hour. Let's try that. Sudden snowflakes stag on your eyelashes. The snow is not falling, frozen in place. You cut a tunnel through. Behind you is a moor, blanketed in white. There are no menhirs in sight. Before you is a slab of stone lit by the final slant of winter sunlight. Around the slab is a gathering of tall beings. Their heads and necks are as long and sinuous as swans, rising from the narrow collars of their white feathered robes. Gift them a barrel of hours to beings that live between seconds. The beings consider you, saying nothing. They wait. Your crew lift the barrel of hours onto the stone slab. A stoker prizes the lid off. As a geode tumbles out, there's a flurry of motion. The translucent beings cluster around the barrel, gathering up the geodes with boneless limbs. They pass them out, cradling each one gently. One being spills a shimmer of bright gemstones. their color riotous in this white place. Into your arms, the others begin to croon softly to the hours. And we gained a cask of Neveritine gemstones. I think that's the first one of those we had. Okay. It is not the date that it was. It was the 19th of December. Maybe it wasn't. I don't remember. You've been inside the henge too recently. We can try to whisper to the tallest stone. And fail. You lean close to the cold rock and tell a story to a hollow in the stone. Your crew watch, clearly unsettled by the superstition. Your tale is finished. You pull yourself from the menhir. The air hangs still. Nothing. Perhaps the stones have heard that story. And now we can't do anything. Okay. Well, I think that was good, getting the gems. Okay, there's clearly another, Scrive-Spinster. Let's back down south and come back around. Well, yeah, I'm worried about our terror. Look, it distorts the space, like even the font's all blurry. I'm worried about fuel. Like, I think if we're down to 0, we could probably still get home, but that makes me nervous. No, oh! A port way up there. Okay. Oh, what's that? Is that eels? I thought I saw eels. That's... It's kind of eels. Something to crave? Something... What is this? A Scorn Fluke. What is going on? What is that? This is like moving my ship around. Oh dear, move back, move back. Okay. What was that huge thing? And we gained something. What was that we gained? We gained a selection of immaculate souls? Okay. A Scorn Fluke defeated. The gelatinous flesh spasms, the broken spines rattle. The Fluke is dying. Tear off a trophy, which will reduce my terror. Investigate it, which will give me otherworldly artifacts. And gain me insight. Use its spines to reinforce. Create the wrath of heaven. When my nightmares are awful. This will give me a large weapon. We have the Searing Enigma for it, but our nightmares aren't. We don't have nightmares. So this would be 63, 56. Like, I want to reduce my terror, but this seems like getting an insight into Scorn Flukes might be good. Commingling of Choirs is what it's called. Its inhuman music rages and sobs. The polyphonic scream brings your crew to shuddering tears. Discipline keeps them working. They're careful to maintain distance from the oozing gray exodite. In abrupt silence, the remains liquefy and dissipate. Any artifacts remaining are too tainted to gather. You now have 3 commingling of the choirs. And I gain 2 otherworldly artifacts. And tear. And some money. Interesting. Let's get up to that port before we start having to deal with our fuel situation. There's this unpleasant sound that I associate with Scrive-Spinsters. Ooh, that's new. They're attacking something. Oh, these are the Ministry monitors. Okay. Oh, is this Perdurance? The Chamber of Afternoon. Hopefully they sell fuel. The Evening Ballroom. The Parlour. Like, that sounds, it must be at least 3. Yeah, here we are. We're at Perdurance. We have several things to do here. On approach, Perdurance looks like an opulent mansion caught partway through a genteel explosion. Each constituent set of rooms accounted for, but separate and out of place. Each is connected in a rough circle by narrow, winding passages. The steep roofs are topped with shingled turrets and precarious towers. The elegantly disassembled country house perches on top of a soot-stained, windowless factory, whose chimneys belch gouts of smoke and fire. Okay, before we head in... Oh, no, we have to. Okay. The windows in the parlor are shuttered, and the light stained with pale yellows, blushing pinks, and bruised violets. Lit with the illusion of dawn, or perhaps dusk. You see a room cluttered with stiff-backed armchairs and decorative chases, set against savagely floral wallpaper in shades of burgundy, violet, and Brunswick green. A portrait of the Empress, unsmiling, hangs in an ornate gilt frame. A few visitors mill about, casting speculative glances at the exasperated butler, while they pretend to examine the decor. Okay, just a moment. You've got a lot of souls for me, sure. Could always use some more souls. Oh, and you don't even sell... You sell nothing but literature. No fuel. Oh, that's a shame. My aunt is here. Dear God. Dear God, somehow she's found her way to the high wilderness. She's trying to get your attention with the frantic waving of her horrible hat. I know you've seen me. Listen, I'm quite exhausted my possibilities here. I'm a serviceable quartermaster. I have friends everywhere, and my scones are to die for. How's that for a curriculum vitae? Now let me aboard. Is she even your real aunt? Either way, you have to deal with her. Sure, we'll employ my aunt as a quartermaster. She smiles with sincere delight. Here, take my bag. Her bag is very heavy. And my hat. Her hat is also very heavy. Your crew are alarmed when she boards your engine. Their alarm only increases when she begins to pass comment. After a thorough survey of your locomotive, she graces you with a smile. There is work to be done. She has extracted gossip from you before she is even boarded. This woman is skilled. It wasn't gossip, it was a secret. Okay. Well, can we talk to her? She's taken over one of your nicer cabins, which she has ruthlessly redecorated. There's a preponderance of ugly ornaments balanced precariously on tiny tables. Hideous and antimacassars? I don't know what that is. Adorn every available surface. Your aunt occupies a felt armchair in the center of the horror, where she spends her time either knitting or solving truly mind-bogglingly cryptic crosswords. Converse with my aunt with a tale of terror. Good lord, are you all right? She immediately bakes you a batch of scones. She doesn't even comment on the order in which you apply the jam and the cream. I know what will cheer you up. I've been invited to a little soiree by a Bunty, an old school friend. I think she's head of the deniable constables now. You'll come with me, won't you? It'll take your mind off things. I must warn you, it's a very particular evening. Old enmities is put aside, that sort of thing. It's a carillon. Okay. And what is her secondment? Just an idle thought, she says, presenting you with a new batch of sourdough loaves. She frowns at the consistency of the bread as though she expects it to get its act together sharpish. But if you wish to make use of my full arsenal of talents, you might grant me shore leave at the most serene mausoleum. I have ideas, but if you think I'm more valuable aboard your engine, that's up to you. She will generate barrels of hours while at the mausoleum. I mean, you get hours everywhere. I'm kind of not sold. Either way, she wants to go back to Carillon. So right now, we've got this guy. He's Veils and Mirrors. She is Iron and Mirrors. I think I'll take you for now. Let's go back to the Antechamber. Get that port report. The visitors are puffed up with importance and embarrassingly eager to tell you how they obtained an invitation to the Half-Light Masque. Some through patronage or long service, others through less salubrious means. All are desperate to spend a day in the company of the glittering inhabitants of Perdurance, the brightest stars in Albion's firmament. For here, the sons and daughters of Her Majesty's most important courtiers reside in eternal youth and sophistication. So, we have a very low chance of being able to stand for Parliament. I think I'm just going to not. Talk to the exasperated butler. Yes, and? He demands. He leaves through a leather-covered logbook to make clear that he is, in fact, terribly busy. What is this place? This is Perdurance, the home of the Half-Light Masque. I'm probably saying that name wrong. Perdurance? Perdurance. Perdurance, I'm going to say. Here, Her Majesty has created a single perfect day wherein the finest examples of the Empire's youth may reside for all time. At the day's end, there is a grand ball. When it is over, the day is spun anew with fresh hours, and all begins again. No one who resides here will age even a single day. Visitors are permitted, of course, relatives, a select few others, as long as they have an invitation. And how do I get an invitation? I've got a bunch, but if one must ask how to obtain an invitation, one probably shouldn't have it. Typically, they are granted to the relatives of residents. The Ministry of Public Decency may reward invitations to those who have served the Empire. We also receive an unusual number of visitors from the Royal Society. An invitation permits the bearer entry to a single instance of the Masque, from morning to evening. You thank him, but he clearly wishes to impress upon you the grandeur of the matter. It's a great honor to be invited here. And an even greater one to be rewarded with a residence. The Empress is most generous with her favored servants. He gives you a sharp look and adds, and we are all her servants, are we not? That we are, man. For the Queen. Who is permitted to reside here? They are the sons and daughters of Her Majesty's most valued, most trusted counselors and confidants. The residents want for nothing. They need fear nothing. They will not grow old or know care or worry. They will be preserved forever in the flower of their youth and innocence. These are the gifts that are her renewed majesties to grant. Can they leave? Why on earth would they want to do that? To do so would seem remarkably ungrateful. So it's hostages. It's the kids of all her staff. It's a way of ensuring loyalty. What was the other option? Who chooses? Her renewed majesty, of course. She chooses them herself from among the children of her most beloved advisors and agents. This is the reward for service, immortality, and luxury for one's issue. Could there be anything better? Okay. Well, we could go in. Why not? We've got several of these. We only have 3 now, but that's okay. Through the Empress straight on till morning. The portrait of the Empress swings open, and a succession of brightly dressed debutantes, sour-faced chaperones, and prim servants stumbles into the parlor. They barely have a moment to rest their feet and take a sip of tea before a panel of wallpaper slides open, the dark maw of a sharply curving passage just visible in the dawn light. The butler snatches the invitation from her hands. Remember, the invitation only lasts 1 day. It is a warning, but sounds a little wistful. He propels you forward to join the court. You emerge a little tender into the morning. Okay, so it's morning. So the Incognito Princess wants to do stuff. We can try to gain favor with the servants. We can try to gain favor with both the servants and the debutantes, if we had veils. Or we could try just to gain favor with the debutantes. We can help the rat people search for Wilma. Let's go ahead and do the Incognito Princess first. I mean, she has, like, so many things. You unlock this with something new of 10. What does that mean? The loom chambers below stairs thunder and smoke. There are rows upon rows of hour looms, each tended by weavers and with their hair pinned tightly back. The heat of the cooking combines with the shudder of machinery and pandemonium. Watching over it all are the theoretical engineers. Access to them barred. Engineers only, states the sign in an angry font. We could try to pretend we're an engineer, or we could send the driver in with her. With an introduction from a peer, it's easy to arrange a meeting with the engineers, who keep Perdurance trapped in a single perfect day. The Incognito Princess is enchanted by the turning machinery, and the engineers are as enchanted with her. They form a hive of activity around her, competing to answer her questions. She seems unsatisfied and presses harder. Change is the one constant, though. How do you truly prevent it? By what methods does change try to escape from your bondage? She realizes you're still there and dismisses you, saying she can find her own way back. Yeah, we got a decent chunk of experience from that. Close to a new level, too. Let's head back up. We're still in morning. So let's search for Wilma. A bored chaperone answers your question. Oh, the little fat one? No, she'll only come out later. Her owner doesn't wake up till the afternoon. Hidden in your sleeve, Cinders quivers with indignation. Okay, so we have a 70% chance to gain favor with the debutantes, and 73. I mean, that's pretty much the same, even though one's green and one's red. One's yellow. We're really bad at getting both. Let's just go for the higher one at first. You quickly learn that many of the servants are in Perdurance as a reward for some special service. Some volunteered to come because their illnesses can be deferred indefinitely. Each night, Perdurance's looms spin the same day backwards, so its inhabitants never age or decline. Others are here for a short term of service. The pay is good and will buy their families a better life. A handful of servants are notably aged and decrepit, barely able to perform their function. But when you ask, the other servants find some other task, or find some task or other to avoid speaking of them. And we gain some servants' favor. The morning room is a grander version of the parlor. Oh, I already read that. Let's move over. The morning is done. Everyone arrays themselves in a procession according to their station. The dowager duchesses at the front, the debutantes just behind, then chaperones and visitors, and the servants bringing up the rear. There is much jostling for position within each group according to rules you cannot begin to fathom. You enter the narrow and twisting passage, stumbling in the enveloping darkness as the debutantes giggle and shout. With each step, the shrieks of hours being spun backwards resonate through your body, leaving you shaking and worn. You emerge blinking into the dazzle of afternoon. Alright, so these are still the same. So it's a chaperone, a servant, and a debutante. Chaperone is both, I guess. But we don't have the stats for that. But we definitely wanted to get this. So convince Wilma to speak to the brigade, 100% chance. This will always advance the story, but failure may impact her part in it. But we have a 100% chance. Wilma patters from the dandy's palm to yours. Her whiskers twitch as Albrecht emerges from your sleeve. You're here for my part of the number. Albrecht nods solemnly. Wilma presses close to him. Deine Schnurrhaar sind ungepflegt, mein Lieber. I don't... Okay. Your sleeve twitches and Cinders pokes her head out. Wilma jumps, neither speaks. Albrecht clears her throat. There's still a place for you, Wilma. Wilma's nose twitches. I like to hear that from her. After a pause, Cinders inclines her head. Wilma sniffs. That'll do for now. Is there some sort of like a love triangle thing going on here? I say, won't you give me something for my rat? The dandy. I'll offer you my sympathies. The dandy blanches. No, you see, I'm very happy here, entirely happy. His fingers twitch as though this were some other place. He demands satisfaction of you. Excuse me. So we found Wilma. Talked to the Rat Brigade. The afternoon ends. Wilma joined. The devils of Carillon claim to be experts in the assessment of your soul, and apparently we just hurt our Apparently we just damaged our soul. Maybe we should have offered him a kiss. Too bad. We didn't get any favor. Here the curtains are pulled... Okay. Move onward. A passage opens behind the china cabinet, and the procession forms once more. You take a breath and step into the close, stifling darkness, trying not to fall behind as the passage contorts and coils. With each step, the shrieks of hours being spun backwards resonates through your body. You spot a figure masked in a featureless black, their face covered by a smooth oval of polished obsidian. Who are they? It's an enormous relief to spill out into evening at the grand ballroom. Everyone finds their place without a murmur, and courtly life is resumed, almost as though the terrors you just experienced never existed. Hanging from the grand ballroom ceiling is a vast ormolu gaselier. Okay. Its spidery arms decked with cut crystal drops. It casts soft yellow brightness onto the masked dancers below, as they whirl across the polished parquet floor. Music blends with the hum of genteel conversation and the stiff swish of starched crinolines. Okay, whatever. So servants, chaperones, debutantes again. I think we'll just go with the servants again. Under each branch of every candelabra is a filigrade silver dish, perfectly positioned to catch the wax that drips from the tapered candles. A servant darts into the throng to replace an overfull dish, but trips over the whirling skirt of an enthusiastic debutante. You catch him and set him on his feet. He gives you a fleeting smile before retreating once more into studied obscurity. Hanging from the grand ball... Okay, we are with that. Move onwards. And the counselor's daughter... Oh, right! No, I don't remember. The counselor's daughter. The counselor's daughter. Was that the dude in Port Prosper? No, that they wanted me to go into the the Blue Kingdom. Anyway, the other option would have been being admired by the inhabitants when you did not have the request, when you must be equally accepted. Okay. Well, we can make that happen sometime. One of the blacked-out ballroom windows opens to reveal the passage back to the parlor at dusk, or perhaps dawn. The keening of the... Yeah. You spot a figure masked... Yeah. You enter the parlor through the portrait of the Empress and limp away sore-footed from dancing and stumbling through the dark. Behind you, the members of the court chatter and take tea and make ready to begin their day anew, where tonight and every night hereafter is the half-light Masque. Okay. The procession emerges from the dark passageway into the dusky, or dawny, light of the parlor. Somewhere below. Yeah. Okay. First, someone approaches. Spending the day at Perdurance reduces your terror, and depending on who you pleased and how much, may grant other rewards. So we were going heavy servant. And apparently, you walked an impeccable line between servants and debutantes and are admired by both. And this would be equally liked by both. Okay, well, we didn't do that one. The servants discreetly share admiration for your kindness and charm. You try not to let it go too much to your head. There's very little competition in the field of kindness to servants here. And we get some gossip and a lot of terror reduced. I mean, we could just do another one. Go right back in and try to keep them balanced. But I don't know. I think we'll come back. Let's talk to our people. So, ask Her Highness about the rumors. The crew whisper of all the engineers and Perdurance just disappearing, leaving naught behind but sporadic ghostly screams. 24 starlings buzz about the princess's quarters. It takes some time to make yourself heard. It's not true, says the princess, gesturing at a short woman with tall hair and spectacles. My friend was an engineer. She hasn't disappeared. She's right there. The analytical suitor sits, staring adoringly at the princess. However, I'm glad you're here. I understand that a new poetical movement, inspired by the more melancholic strands of the celestial school, is meeting in whirly-burly juxtamare. I wish to better study this notion sadness. It's beyond me. She smiles, and you're outside. She seeks something blue. Something new, something... Is she getting married? Something new, something blue, something borrowed? Something old? Okay. And the rats. What's next? Cinders knocks back a shot of something unspeakable. We have to decide. Our medic, Vian, or our demolitions rat, Angel. They refuse to work together. Lord knows why the lieutenant kept them in the same unit, though he did have a sponge for brains and managed to bungle betraying us all. It's all adventure stupidity. Anyway, Sarge knew we couldn't keep them both. Told me while he was scammered on the gin. Gave both of them the same number. Vianne's an old friend. She's at Magdalen's. She won't leave till she knows they can manage without her. We'll need to give them a condemned experiment. Angel's completely barking, but if you want him, he'll want a party thrown in his honor. Munitions, some inspiration on our part, up to you. We shouldn't choose between comrades. So Angel's at Palmyre and at the circus. It didn't even tell me that. A moment of inspiration is kind of rare. Condemned experiments are rare also. I don't know which I have more of. So, a moment of inspiration, I have 2. And only 1 condemned experiment. So, anyway, when we go back to the Reach, we'll check these all out. That might be a while. Okay, I am a little worried about being able to get back to London with the fuel we have. I think we're just going to go straight past Skyhenge. Immediate level up. I'm thinking it might be time to start raising our veils a bit, because right now we just don't have any chance of passing a veil request. So we have only one. A spell in prison. I don't like that. I didn't go to prison. Let's take veils as a secondary choice, and then the first choice will be iron, perhaps? Get iron above 50. So iron and... oh no, there's veils. The bell tolls. You foreseen your own death. It did not please you. Perhaps you saw it in a dream. Perhaps a medium read it in your palm or in your tea leaves. When death comes, where will he find you? In bed. After we've retired and are rich. It might be faster to get to Brabazon. Does that sell fuel? It does. I mean, they're kind of the same distance apart. I don't know. Let's go back to Brabazon. But yeah, I'm not happy about this fuel situation when there's all this fighting going on nearby. And for some reason, okay, here's what's... ah, it's fighting with the... oh my, and it's... okay, that's a different cutter. Oh my. A senior Scrivener slaughtered. Once the senior Scrivener was an ancient servitor of the stars, feared even among its kind. Now it's broken and hangs haphazardly in the sky like a puppet. So send out crewmen with axes. Recover sheaves of parchment, which will give me scraps of ancient knowledge. Or share knowledge you've stolen from plundered libraries. Exchange scraps of ancient knowledge for a searing enigma. Interesting. This certainly seems like the better option. 2 scraps of knowledge. And you destroy one of the gold ships. The glorious dreadnought is defeated. Find random treasures or can gain up to 3 fuel. I need the fuel. But I really want to know what the random treasures are, but I need the fuel. Okay. That's a shame. What is that? What is going on over there? A stifling rush of deja vu. Have you done this before? Will you do it again? Okay, we're just getting hit all over the place, too. Okay, 1 down. That was weird. What was that? Wow, I'm just missing right and left all over the place and getting hit by all these things. Okay. So Scrive-Spinsters and upgraded Scrive-Spinsters are the key to... oh, that's what this was. It was something ghastly. Yeah, look at it. The days have worn thin in this corner of the sky. A weft of unraveling time. You've strayed into a place where the weave of time is frayed. The sky groans. The borders that separate the past and the future crumble. So it's December 24th. Let's see if this moves us to a different time. You will not emerge unchanged. The boiler rumbles, the chimneys spume. You urge your locomotive forward into the churn of time. The present quivers, falters, and is torn away. The horological office in London will tell me more about what happened. Okay. Within the Weft, past and future not, like dueling pythons. Nothing is constant. Another age washes over your locomotive and everything changes. When you leave the Weft, some of your present circumstances will follow you out. Be careful when you depart. Oh. Escape a time when all was good as new. If you escape, you'll gain whole, but you will lose terror, experience, and sky stories. I don't want to lose experience. Remain. You have only to endure, and the chaos of the Weft will sweep your current circumstances away, as another time gains dominance. You can feel its approach. Escape a time when all was good as new. Another one. The longer you are on the Weft, the easier to leave, but the more serious the effects may be. I think we just want to leave. Let's just get out of here. Let's see how much experience we lose. Maybe we won't lose a full level. So we're at 2,000 of 11,000. And we lost the entire thing. We lost a level. We lost like 3,000 experience. 3,300. That's painful. I don't like that at all. I mean, that was kind of creepy, though. What is that? No, that's not a ship. That's the, There's another one! No! Or it might be the same one, it just moves around. It didn't actually change the date. It's still the December. Oof. Let's get back to London. We have some stuff to drop off. And we've been doing a lot of story time. What do our stats look like right now? 55, 18, 47. Luckily it didn't take away the facet, but we're gonna have to regain the experience, which isn't that bad. I mean, you can just, kill things to get experience. Here, let's hug this wall. Okay, well, Albion's getting interesting. It's got some interesting stuff here. The Fluke, the weird time thing. The ability to get a searing enigma from the upgraded scribes. Nothing over here. Okay, let's go south and go back to London. We can explore in the future. What a magnificent lawn! I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Whoa! I thought that was not. I thought that I could walk through that. I did not realize at all that that was a wall. That must have been looked quite strange to a third party. Just it sure looks like you can go that way. That's a little street between these two, but I guess not. My bad. So like this is the same as that, which is the same as that. They're really stacking their assets here. So they did say go to the horological office, which is right here, right? And we just smashed right into it, because that's what we do. So tell me more about this Weft of Unravelling Time. These outbreaks of unruly time are politically sensitive. I assume preventing or repairing them is beneath Her Majesty's dignity. She is, of course, terribly busy. Our office has been instructed to make such repairs as we can. We have invented the Raveling Jacks, simplified hour looms that can reweave time's torn fabric. If you'd assist, we'll pay for every weft repaired. The jacks only work from inside, a delicate operation. The machines are fragile. Okay, and we have to pay before we can requisition one? It would... And it takes up a slot in my hold. And it only needs 100, though. Sure. You know. The jack is a cumbersome machine with an improbable number of arms and wheels. It comes with an almost indecipherable instruction manual. When you enter a weft, you may try to repair it. There's a chance the jack will break. Return with evidence to receive payment. Okay. Nothing. This is submit your observations on mended wefts. You'll gain sovereigns and the gratitude. And improve the state of the sun. Okay. And we can buy fuel and stuff here. Just one more fuel to get us, well, one of each just to get us back to London. And I think we have port reports to turn in, right? Learn how you can be of use. The congruous secretary gives you a brilliant smile. That sounds entirely opposite. Take a seat, dear. She writes a note and inserts it into a pressurized delivery tube by her desk. 15 minutes later, a genial auditor arrives, a portly fellow with white, wispy mutton chops. Pleasure to meet you, Reverend. Let's go to my office, shall we? A huge horseshoe-shaped building of white stone, white columns, clocks, and iron gates. Inside its walls are paneled with dark wood. Crimson carpet, worn by frequent passage, flood the floors. Within its cubbyhole offices, auditors toil to protect the sensibilities of London's here. In the heathen. Sensibilities of Londoners here in the heathen sky. Take tea. His office is poky, its walls lined with leathered books. The clockwork sun glows in the window, rose gold in the smog. His window box holds a spray of decorative fungus. He sits behind his heavy many-drawer desk. What can we do for you today? So what do you do exactly? A mill makes grain. A factory makes, I don't know, socks and so forth. We make Britishness. A priceless commodity here in the heavens. It must be cradled, nurtured, and nourished. Without it, we would lose ourselves. He looks out of his window, unsettled. We're very small, do you see? And the sky is so very big. And what is Britishness? Why, we do. In consultation with the most impeccable sources. He indicates the beautiful books on his shelves with a smile. Spencer, Tennyson, Blake. Payne, you ask? Hardy? Mary Prince? No, he frowns. No, not them. I don't get the reference, but that's okay. How does the ministry pursue its task? Firstly, with the truth, which is not, I must make clear, the same as facts. Facts can point at anything, but the truth is straightforward and puts us on the right path. Secondly, by respecting and preserving our traditions. They are not quaint, they are not outmoded, they are tried and tested. After all, they brought us here, didn't they? And what are the threats to Albion? The obvious, of course. Revolutionaries, rebels, strikers, the morally depraved, those who besmirch her renewed majesty's good name, God save her. He rubs his chin thoughtfully. But there are newer, more seditious dangers, too. We stand in the vault of heaven, and we must defend our way of life against the enticements of the new. A thing is not more precious because it is strange. People forget that. Okay. Do you want some port reports? He listens intently, writing notes on your pad of paper. On a pad of paper. His comments are absolutely neutral. I see. Fascinating. Well, well. You notice your reports are filtered into separate piles. Afterwards, he writes a requisition form for you. Pop this into finance on your way out, and they'll see to the needful. Terribly grateful. Best keep this information to yourself, though, eh? Rest assured, we are experts. We'll ensure it's handled sensitively. And we gained 2 Strength of the Sun. Okay. So, we're getting some favor with the new dude. We only have 2 of it, right? Yeah. So, Ministry Stamp Permits, reduced unwanted attention, a Cryptic Benefactor, Invitations to Perdurance, which needs 3. The Royal Dispensation needs 16. Or I can surrender stuff and reduce notoriety. Okay, never mind. Anything else here? Oh, right, I forgot. This guy wanted a Tale of Terror and a Caged Catch. I forgot about that. We can do that one. We just need to remember it. I mean, we're so close to London. Let's just go and do it right now. A Marauder. I'm pretty sure inhaling smog is not good for the lungs. Okay, so unload all our stuff. Oh, keep that. And we needed a Caged Catch. And let's see if there's any other new Bazaar things. So glass to Whirly-Burly. Whirly-Burry. Whirlbury Juxtamare. And it's to the north-northwest. And more fireworks to Parliament. We'll get there. We'll go back there eventually, I'm sure. Is there like a way to... Oh yeah, the Baroness. We have some souls. Explore. Look for the Baroness of Hell. You try the remains of the palace. You try a few townhouses that have fallen on hard times. Then the repentant devil cackles to himself and says, I know where she'll be. Hard to believe, but I did not think of it first. He leads you unerringly through the streets. It seems he lived here for a long time, not long ago. This was once the embassy of the devils in London. It's now a ruin, though still overly hot. You can see only a few limbs of the Baroness at a time. Most of her extends up the grand staircase and out of sight. The downstairs portions are plated, iridescent on black, something like a widow's ball gown, as if it were made entirely of beetle. The Baroness's children are sightless larvae, chewing old paperwork. Observe the meeting. Someone sent an assassin after me. The repentant devil addresses the Baroness's downstairs eyes and her downstairs mouth. What on earth is this thing we're talking to? The plates of the Baroness's exoskeleton spasm. The rhythm is the rhythm of laughter, but the sound is the rustling of leaves. When she speaks, it is with the same desiccated quality. If I had the energy to kill you, I would have done it long ago. No, my old friend, your problems come from very much another direction. They visited me, looking for you. She turns her notice to you. It must be irritating serving such a master. He becomes intolerable when he is bored. Just let it go. Let's not make waves. She studies your silence for several moments. When you don't move or speak, she seems satisfied. Okay. Ask about the person who came for him. I said there was no point in trying to take him anywhere he doesn't want to go, the Baroness remarks, extending one limb towards the repentant devil. But she seemed likely to keep trying, so I killed her and kept her effects. She produced a small bundle of things, clothes, a mean little dagger, and some paperwork. The bundle has been chewed on by the Baroness's children, but the paperwork still looks legible. With that, you are ready to leave. What will you speak of as you depart the embassy? Once he was an ardent Republican? What? He would never have been happy to live with the Baroness forever. These days she takes an interest in souls, mainly for form's sake. She never appreciated the art that goes into such matter. The repentant devil has become more ambitious. Okay. So, I guess that's like where he's gonna end up? Maybe? I don't know. But you're not a revolutionary, dude, so that's fine. If he had continued to live with her, he never would have been able to return to his proper work. Quite a bit of experience points. We're actually positive again. And their repentant devil has become more ambitious. Can we talk to him? Talk about the Baroness. I used to live with her for centuries before the Republic. She gave me a safe haven. I gave her the wreck of power. I had been something, and now I was not. You've seen how she is. She'll sit in the ruins of the brass embassy for a century, if nothing dislodges her, feeding her babies on the pulp of diplomatic dispatches. On the topic of those babies, you rather thought you saw her eat one of her larvae as you were leaving. The uselessness and hiding wore on me. Overthrowing the aristocracy was something to do. So apparently he was a revolutionary. Well, okay. What should we do now? Well, top up our supplies. Maybe do some more exploring around. There was somewhere to the south we could go, but we also were told to go to somewhere to the west. If there's this place down here. But they were saying the Whirlbury Juxtamare is to the north-northwest. Let's go there. And we want to turn in our cage catch too. So it needs stained glass. Yeah, just a couple more. Best be safe. And it's 5? Yeah, 5 panes. Okay. I think we're good. Oh, we didn't repair, but our hole's pretty fine. I kind of wish I'd gone south into that place. Like, maybe there'd be something interesting there. We'll get to it eventually, I'm sure. That's on our plane, right? That's a monitor. Yeah. I'm a little reluctant to take one on. I mean, the dreadnoughts we were seeing in the Reach were already scary enough. The Tacketies we were wrecking pretty hard, but the dreadnoughts, we were not. And these are like upgraded dreadnoughts. So the Office of Works, here you go. A pair of laborers maneuver the catch into its new pen, their hands trembling as you recount tales of its ferocity. The foreman shakes his head. God knows what they want this one for. I stopped asking questions after someone gave me an answer once. 350 sovereigns, that's pretty good. And we have gained 10 strength of the sun. Okay. What's the next one? It is Caddies of Tea and a Vision of the Heavens. I mean, we could just do this over and over again and get tons of money this way. But let's make it like our regular thing when we're leaving London to go turn one in. Caddies of Tea is the next one. So we need to go up here-ish. Let's go west and see if we can wind our way up like that. Then when we come back, we can just take the more direct route. I miss being in the Reach. It seemed more pleasant. It should be a thing. I'm continually misjudging how distant things are. I'm betting that this map is actually just like bigger than the Reach, and so I'm at a different zoom level. I'm betting, because it seems like I'm always thinking I'm already there and I'm not. Hello, Marauder, or Explorer. Come on. Look how far away it backs up. How annoying. Another Vision of the Heavens. Oh, a port. I wonder if that's the Whirlbury. It's about it's northwest, so yeah, I bet that is. For some reason I was thinking it would be further to the wall, but this is fine. This is a wall, right? Yeah, okay. What is this? Oh, it's just exhaust from some background thing. A new port! Whirlbury Juxtamare. So first thing first, drop off our stained glass. Grab some cage catches. A lot of them. Nice. And it sells both. Nice. Alright. Workers in neat uniforms guide your locomotive to rest. Tourist engines rest alongside trading engines. Crews trade gossip and delicacies. Signs in block capitals make abundantly clear this is a place for pleasure. Whirlbury Juxtamare dazzles like a Fabergé egg, lamplit, rich brass, and Britain in Baroque. In the distance, I could get condemned experiments for literature. Wow, can I buy literature here? I can. Let's get one. Exchange ministry-approved literature for a condemned experiment. The scrawny apprentice scratches his downy chin. He conceals the literature within his ill-fitting jacket. Good deal. This music is kind of loud. Whirlbury Juxtamare is precisely like every other weekend destination. Shabbier than advertised and bristling with ways to spend more money than intended. There is more than meets the eye. You've unlocked this by not having any attired for Whirlbury Juxtamare. Get a port report. In the face of candy floss, the guards are let down. Presented with this much tea, defenses are dropped. This should have been a good place to gather information. Unfortunately, the screams of the donkeys render eavesdropping impossible. So it's kind of like it's like a festival? Not really a circus, but like a carnival? I don't know. Still, even by itself, a list of visitors is certainly worth something. You've exhausted these opportunities for now. My beautiful garment. I think we might have messed something up by doing that experiment instead of going through the greeting. Okay. Every fortnight, the Bureau of Entertainment holds a lottery to give out a number of paupers passes, which grant free admittance. The queue for these is long, but it's not the only way into the port. A fox-jawed man, smartly dressed in cobalt, takes notice of you. First time visiting Whirlbury Juxtamare? Come on, come over here then. The representative of the Bureau of Entertainment introduces himself. We are a department of the Ministry of Public Decency, but we're entirely autonomous. We run this port for the benefit of weary travelers. He leads you past a queue that doesn't even bother to grumble. Yes, I know. Queue jumping is terribly uncouth, but would you really rather be mingling with the proletariat out there when you could be enjoying our port? I'm sure what you've seen what we have to offer. You'll need to come back again. Everyone goes through this. There's a dress code. The Bureau of Entertainment wishes to encourage industrious captains to patronize the port. On a captain's first visit, they are allowed in without charge, without having to queue. I wonder the whole queue thing, maybe that means we need hours in the future. Periodically, he checks a brass pocket watch, while his grin lengthens and diminishes in turn. He's here to supervise the attire of new visitors to the port. In Whirlbury, everyone dresses up in the heady styles of 50 years ago. The Bureau of Entertainments provides suitable attire for all visitors. What article of clothing are you going to base your choice of outfit around? Your outfit has no impact. It's merely an outlet for whimsy. A dress? A dress shirt? Why not both? Nah. A finely tailored coat. Fabulous footwear. I'm thinking a finely tailored coat. The couturier calls two women from a door you hadn't realized was there. They are tall, sinewy, and sepia-skinned, with the bluest eyes. As before, as always, my assistants will do everything they can for you, Reverend. The women are efficient, but impersonal. Their attention bereft of interest. Whenever you attempt to don something that doesn't quite fit your ensemble, they remove the offending garment and replace it with an inventory of superior options. When you finally dismiss the women, the couturier considers you for a long moment. He turns to a wardrobe and hands you several garments, all your size. Once you're dressed, he dismisses you, shooing you into Whirlbury Juxtamare. My clothes are new. The condition of my clothes limits my time. Okay. There is more to it than meets the eye. So the princess wants to do something here. This will reduce my attire, but may open new opportunities. Attend an exclusive exhibition. If we have 5, okay, so it's just like the Port Avon welcome and the time in Brabazon. You have not become familiar with the portraitist. We need more affiliation with Bohemia. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and see what we can do for the princess. You squeeze in the back. There are rows of serious young folk before you. Poets take the stage to chart their woe at the working class's plight, or at least that's what you presume from their gestures. They're inaudible over the chattering of the chattering classes. The Incognito Princess is pressed against the back wall. She ignores the rats who assemble to paw worshipfully at her feet. I'd rather be closer, she states. Shove them out of the way, 70%. A little burly persuasion gets you to the front. The princess follows in your wake. You look up at a poet staring into the middle distance, describing the misery of the hour looms. Slowly he becomes aware of the Incognito Princess, stutters and changes tack, hailing her highness in celestial verse. Soon another poet steps on the stage, adding her own thoughts on how extraordinarily well the princess compares to the first day of spring, then a third, then a fourth. The princess takes a break from the attention of the poets and turns to you. I will meet you back on the locomotive. She found what she sought. Okay. Wait for just one more. Let's see what the princess is up to. Oh, we just took a big tear. You push back into the public house to see every poet in the room hailing the Incognito Princess, trying to find couplets to exactly chart the bounds of her perfection. Not so blue now, my sad rhymers, she says, waving encouragingly at the poets. You can find the words, if not English, perhaps words more celestial. After a brief moment, they find a language whose shapes sound ill-fitted for a human palate. They rush on joyously. One poet's tongue ignites, then another, then a third. Every poet has a mouthful of flame, and still they don't stop. In the middle of the conflagration stands the princess, beaming. This seems to be contagious. Best run. I lost a heart, but I gained a searing enigma. That's pretty cool. I think I'd take that as a worthwhile trade. Okay. I mean, it seems like this might actually let us do more stuff, even though it doesn't seem very descriptive. So let's just wander onwards. Okay. Take a donkey ride. No trip to Whirlbury is complete without a donkey ride, which needs 3 money. Succumb to the wiles of a rubbery lumps seller. Here's a pass to the beach. Or wander onwards. I don't know, I kind of feel like we should be doing these. Let's take a donkey ride. Your donkey today is uncommonly skittish, spooking at every sound, but at least its distended belly makes for cushioned ride. If only it could move faster than a crawl. Okay. And we apparently lost a couple pairs of these. The longer you spend in Whirlberry Juxtamare, the easier it is to spot the flaws in the facade. And reduce my tear. Good. How about let's go to the beach? This is a beach. Of course it's a beach. What else could it be? It's a stretch of pale particulates and roiling mist. The air smells of salt and things that mummified in the sun, of cinnamon and licorice. It is pebbles and grains of blue glass, tendrils of something curious and organic, worm-like growths tufting through the sediment. This is exactly what beaches are. No way. Let's just wonder, well, did this reduce, this did not reduce my, yeah, that, just going down to the beach did not reduce my, my clothing. So, let's stop at a tea room. This one did. Oh well. Your tea is tepid, sickly sweet. The room, bare concrete and naked flames, is barren save for muscular men clustered in tense discussion. Broken glass carpets the floor. Perhaps this wasn't the best choice in eateries. It appears traditional for patrons here to abscond with a piece of crockery, a mug, a delicate teacup, a saucer. Whatever best reminds them of the tea room, as such you do the same. Did I get a crockery then? I can't see it. Wander onwards. Whirlberry Juxtamare is precisely like every other... Okay. And our clothes are in tatters, so we have to leave. You've exhausted these opportunities for now. So we could, if we're in favor of the chairman, get in. We could spend things to get in. We could supply them with uncanny specimens, or we could pay. $250? That's a lot. I think we're not going to do that. But can we catch up with our officer? So, what happened after the people caught fire? No, it's not true, Captain. Lounging on a mound of dead starlings roughly shaped like a chase lounge? She gestures at the floor. Crouching beside the analytical suitor is a gaunt man with wild eyes. My poetical suitor survived. You really should not listen to gossip. It's no time for gossip. My journey now takes a more serious bent. She then explains her next destinations. She needs to find a crossroads in Eleutheria. She's of the opinion they're often south of Transit Relay. And you'll require an unlicensed chart. I don't think I have one. And she needs to go to see Caroline. And she needs a handful of bee souls, which means we'll need 3 bee souls. I mean, we can get nectar. I guess maybe just kill bees and that will help. Okay. Let's leave. We'll be back this way. We'll progress the story by like repeatedly going into it at some other time. Let's see if we can find a straight route back towards London by going southeast from here. It seemed kind of sinister, but that's okay. Well, if there's stuff right there, let's get that while we're on the way. The burrower's breath. Ochre fogs rise about your locomotive. The air requires a caustic copper tang. Your driver complains they can't see a damn thing. The burrower's breath, they murmur. The fog persists all day. That evening, a gnarled crewman visits your cabin. The burrower below is displeased, he informs you. She expects a sacrifice. If you wish it, he will arrange it. You risk losing an unlicensed chart. Drive blindly through, it'll be dangerous. Permit the sacrifice, which might remove the burrower's wrath. The time to kill 3 of my crew? Well, we have a lot of crew. The next morning, 3 of your crew awake to find marks daubed in coal dust on their forehead. How curious. Over the next week, all 3 of them die. Not from violence or murder, but to accidents, to illness, to misfortune, as if the threads of their lives had been cut short. The ochre fog sinks away, troubles you no more. We gained a secret, and we lost the interest of the burrower below. Thank goodness. We don't want the gods to be interested in us. But what about this? Lure. And what did I just gain? This. Unidentifiable squirming. For reasons best known to yourself, you have plucked this from the sea at Worley-Juxta-Mare. This thing is nimble. It will try to escape. Dispose of it swiftly at the lighthouse. Okay. Is this it? St. Anthony's Lighthouse. Okay. The lighthouse looms out of the mist like a pale candle. Its light burns a searing path, breaking through the wispy susurration of the fog. A single platform clings to the lighthouse, allowing for engines to dock. The upper gantry hangs far above it, like a sentinel. A pair of elderly keepers maintain the tower. So we can give them the squirming, or we can climb up to the top, or we can give them some tea. Let's bring tea next time. But let's give them locomotives with a butchery, can sometimes harvest squirmings. Yeah, go ahead, do it. The lugubrious keeper grunts with recognition when he sees your cage squirming. His whispers twitch as he wets his lips. He pulls open the cage and hauls up a loop of the squirming to his mouth and bites down hard. Blood the color of cheap inks run down his chops. He grunts again, this time in satisfaction. It is dry as a bone, as though drained. Ooh. Let's get some tea next time, but for now, let's climb to the top. And we gain 15 tear. That's not good. A ladder bolted to the side of the lantern room allows access to the lighthouse top. The mists come in thick and fast, hampering visibility. You find yourself groping for the next rung, only to miss and find yourself swinging half on and half off the ladder, hanging in the air. Suddenly, you see a movement far below. The mists cascade away as something vast approaches the lighthouse. You hold very still for several minutes, your arms burning and prickling with sweat. Eventually, the mists roil and flicker as the thing sinks below the mist line. It takes some minutes before the sea is calm. I'm still worried about terror. I don't feel like we have a good way of dealing with terror. Like, we can lose some in Perdurance, but that costs an invitation. Like, we don't have a cheap way of getting it. It is a creepy area, I have to admit. Oh. A fluke? right? Did it not drop anything? Oh, it did. Okay. And last time we did this, we got like 3, right? Or we got like more commingling of the choirs. But I would love to substantially reduce my terror. So let's do that. Yeah, that's what we need. Is that a monitor? It's moving fast. No, it's a Marauder. Oh, I thought we'd get gossip. We got hours instead. Whatevs. I recognize that lawn. Yeah, something new right there, but not our problem. What did it need? It needed tea. Do we have tea? No. We have catches. Don't hit me. Don't hit me! God. He just turned right into me. No reason to stop there, I don't think. I guess we got one port report. But we can turn it in to the London people too. Oh, this goes through. It looks like it goes through. Does it not? No, it doesn't. It looks like it should. Oh well. Oh, I missed my turn. That's okay. We can come up from below. Just making sure. This area seems dark. Like this little parking area. Certainly not New Winchester. Tea to fuel the sun. The clockwork sun is west-southwest. Okay. And we have plenty of tea. Let me just see what our things are. So munitions to the east, or west-southwest. 3. And there was an extra 2 of these required just nearby. We could be selling this and making so much money. Let me just take a look at what we can sell for from the bank. So look at this, 300 each. So if we needed to, let's see, we could have 2,000, and then another 34, and then another 51. So we got 5,000 or so in just banked stuff. If I were to convert all that over, we would be able to probably work our way into this. Yeah, we could definitely get our way into this if we wanted to. Do I want to? I kind of don't want to give up our tradables. I think, if we keep on just turning in stuff and bringing more stuff back here, eventually we'll be able to afford that anyway, and we'll still have a decent number of each of the items. Eventually, though, like we don't really need to have 19 hours and 13 crockery, 21 seeds. I would like to have all these sitting at 10. That would make me feel nice and safe. But I don't know. We'll see. No. Isn't there a way to reduce terror here? We need to get crews, certainly. Since we sacrificed a few. And this is trading for experience. No. I was tempted to get assaying instead of yeah, let's do that. Let's grab this, and then we'll, instead of having this pressure canning, which gives me 4 hold in addition to butchery, we'll switch this over so that we can actually interact with some of these things that we have not been able to before. And throw this in the bank. We'll use it again, I'm sure. Okay. Before instead of going now, I think we are going to take a break here. We're approaching the 2-hour mark. I'm sure that we'll have new stories at the Sun, and I don't want to spend another hour talking. So thank you everyone for watching. Until next time.